All right, guys, what's up? I'm back with another live episode today. My boy Jay.
Yo,
Jay.
what's going on, man? Chilling. The usual. Wishing it was still summertime.
Yup. Yeah, summer just went and left.
Yes, sir. Sure did.
I took a quick trip and it was nice and warm, and now back to cold.
Came right back to the fuckery.
Yeah. How you been, bro?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Just been, laying low, staying at the crib, the whole COVID thing, obviously. But then also I just started back up working. So, just getting back into the swing of it.
Definitely. Just want to say congrats on the kids.
Oh, yeah. Thank you, man.
And everything. They're doing well and everything.
Yeah, man. Very good, man. They're fucking grown already.
Yeah, man. I seen you been posting them and I've been watching them grow. I'm just like, damn, man, these kids are growing quick.
Mad fast, bro. It's like, until you, and I say this all the time, until you actually have your own kid, you don't notice how fast they really fucking grow up, bro. Like, I feel like it's been no time at all. Noah is talking to me, saying words, all this other random shit. So it's kind of crazy.
Yeah, bro. I feel you, man. I feel you. So Jay, as everybody knows or don't know, Jay's had made our outro beat, and also just the beat for the show in general. If I'm just doing just showing the area around or whatever I'm doing for my show. So Jay, because I know Jay since high school.
Yeah.
And I know you've been like a sneakerhead, crazy sneakerhead, always getting sneakers and stuff like that. But then it just flipped. I saw you just started making music.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because I was actually making music before we met in high school. I was making music. I mean, I started making beats. I started fucking around when I was like 13.
Okay.
But what ended up happening really was, I spent a lot of between when I first got, because I moved back to New York when I was 13. So when I moved back to New York, between then and when I got to high school, I was always making beats. I just, I was more like shadowing my uncle. My uncle had me in the studio a lot, kind of being like an extra hand, like a studio hand. So, I was doing stuff like running to Starbucks and getting them coffee, or running to CVS and, whatever, getting shit like that. And I got an opportunity to be around a lot of people. I was in studio sessions with a lot of people, just a lot of people. I got to see a lot of work get done, a lot of stuff that ended up being on albums and stuff like that. I got to see it. So, what ended up happening, I think, when I was younger it was more like a hobby at the beginning because I was around it so much. And it was like, well, why shouldn't I try this? And then basically right around when maybe our senior year in high school is when I started taking it more serious. But also, too, keep in mind back then, shit wasn't the same. It wasn't like a social media driven world. So I didn't really have anywhere to really talk about the fact that I was making music. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, very true. I remember, dang, what class we was in? Oh man, I don't even remember at this point. I always remember just like, I know you was always rocking out to music. And then when we did those trade shows, you was the one DJing and either dropping music or some kind of beat that was like, I didn't know it was yours or you just found.
Yeah, but, I mean, it's funny because even that, I never like, if you would have told me back then that I was going to go on and learn how to DJ and be doing clubs and festivals and all this random shit, I would have told you was lying. You know what I'm saying? Like, I kind of fell into that just off of the passion of music alone. Like, it was like, okay, well, if I know so much about music, I know all this music, and people trust me to play, they give me the aux all the time, I might as well try to make something of it. And, I kind of fell into the DJing through my homie, which was pretty dope.
All right. Yeah. I was like super impressed. I knew you was making music. I had to get you. I was just like, I gotta support my bro. He's out there grinding hard daily. And I see you when you go live, you do like little tutorials. Or just dropping a beat because
just playing something. Yeah. It's funny, bro, because I've been trying that. So in the past, maybe month or so, I've been focused in really hard. I'm planning on putting together and putting out another beat tape. So what ended up happening with that was I started back up a month ago, just being more adamant on making something, like making at least one beat a day or working on something once a day. You know what I'm saying? And for some fucking reason, my Instagram live doesn't work anymore. It won't let me go live. So I've been tight about that. Like I haven't been able to really jump on live and showcase it. But I know that the way I'm setting it up right now, I mean, you know, I kind of did like the little retirement thing. Once we found out about the second baby, I was kind of like, all right, you know, I'm not really going to take any bookings and I'm not really going to be out and about like that anymore. You know, so I started like focusing in on that side of it. And now I've just been building up, you know, some product, bro, building up some beats and having some stuff to choose from so that when I do pop back up, I got a lot of work.
Yeah, definitely. Talking about out and about, you was out, like you did some music festivals, you did some stuff with dang, what's that, dang, I'm blanking out right now.
Talking about Viceland?
Yeah, you did stuff with Iceland, like that's fire. I'm gonna say that like right now. Then how did you get into all like Viceland, those music festivals? Like what man,
I'll tell you,
onto it.
I'll tell you like this, a lot of situations that I've been in the past couple years, you know, I'm not one to really call that type of stuff luck, because I definitely put myself in a position to accept those types of blessings. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I do a lot of just personal like manifestation and just knowing that, you know, if I come with a product that's, you know, going to speak for itself, then I know that I'll be able to get an opportunity off of one and then just keep stacking them up and building up and building up. So, you know, I'm very much like a momentum type of person when it comes to that stuff. And I'm at the point when I was getting the Viceland stuff, I'm at that point where I'm like, you know, full on. I mean, I had quit my job. I was working at WeWork and they were fucking around with me. You know, I got up out of there and I just decided like, okay, I'm going to go full time with this music between DJing and selling some production. So, you know, that was going really well. And the artist I was working with at the time, you know, basically we ended up getting an opportunity to do a festival, and it was kind of like a small world getting smaller type of thing. Because after we got off the festival stage, I went over the Nugget Spot, which I used to be the GM of. We just closed up recently, but the Nugget Spot was always vending at festivals. So because of that, Jason, the owner, knew a lot of people, and Viceland, you know, one of the ladies from Viceland, Megan, was very supportive. As soon as we met, you know, Jason was like, oh, you know, he just did the stage over there, and they had the Viceland bus parked up, and they had the DJ set up in the back. They were just playing off of Spotify. So she was like, hey, if you want to jump on the bus and DJ for an hour, you can. And I'm like, hell yeah, I want to, you know, like obviously Viceland is done a lot of dope stuff and a lot of people are, you know, aware of what they do. And, you know, aside from it being a good look for me, it was also just like, hell yeah, like this is epic. You know what I'm saying? Like to take advantage of that. So we ended up DJing, me and my boy Manny Mac, we ended up DJing, you know, we were supposed to be on the bus for an hour only, like a kind of like a little guest spot type of thing. Yeah. And we were done. We packed up all our shit. We walked out and Megan was like, you guys are finished? And I'm like, yeah, you know, he was like, oh, you can keep going if you want. And that was it. That's dope. You know, if anybody who knows me and Manny, man, as soon as you give us the green light, we're not stopping. So it basically turned into like a Friday afternoon kind of like guest appearance type of thing into us coming back for the rest of the weekend and basically just bumping the music through the bus for the whole weekend for their activation. You know, and it was well received and people were asking for us back and all that stuff. So when the time came around, the next thing we ended up doing with them was Art Basel. We got to go out to Miami, and that was my first time traveling off of my music. So that was really dope, you know, to get a nice paycheck and travel to somewhere that I never really got to experience like that. So, you know, it kind of just built from there. And then after that, it was South by Southwest, and kind of almost any time that they really did an activation like that, you know, we were providing the music.
Yeah, I saw you travel. You went from Miami to Texas. Man. I think you went to Cali.
No Cali yet, man. No Cali yet. I wish.
One day, bro. One day.
Yeah, soon. I hope.
I know you travel like quite a bit, and I was like, damn, this guy's, you know, doing his thing. Like I knew this kid since high school, 4 years, always rocking music, always rocking sneakers. Like, I knew that was your drive and passion. Like, and I thought that was fire.
Especially the sneakers back then. I think if I wasn't so into sneakers, I might have been more into my music back then.
Bro, I know you, and you was like, the freshest either Jordans or Dunks or whatever that was like fire at the time. You was just like, I'm getting it. or
Yeah, straight up.
or you had your connects, whatever it was.
Yes, sir.
Let's talk about your I'm gonna call it your album, which is, as everybody can see, the sweatpants
Oh
and
yeah.
dunks, and it's with you and 90s Culture.
90 Culture. Yeah, 90 Culture is a production team. I actually met them when I went down to Miami for Art Basel.
Okay.
My boy Manny. So Manny is from Orlando. We flew out and landed in Orlando a couple days early because we got the plane tickets, a lot cheaper.
Okay.
Just for being out there, flying out there on like a Tuesday instead of Thursday when everything started. I guess everybody was, trying to like get in when the event started. So we got out there a couple days early, and my boy Moreno, who I actually did a lot of sneaker stuff with, he's the one that created Show Me Your Feet Heat, which is something I was rocking heavy back then. I was always repping my brand, repping my people's. He picked us up from the airport, and he drove me to where he's from, which is like, well, where he lives, which is like Fort Lauderdale. And that's where I ended up meeting 90 Culture. It was funny because it's a 3-hour drive. I didn't even really notice how fucking big Florida is.
Yeah.
We go from Orlando, we get there, and then it's like mad late at night. And when we pull up, that's when my boy Antidote, who's also on the project, he got the only feature verse on the project. But he was there chilling, and I told him, yeah, I'm in town for Viceland, and he was like, yo, I got the studio right here. And we walked around like the block to his studio, and I was in love, bro. I was in love. The 90 Culture setup is super dope. Like, you walk in, first of all, it's in like a garage type area. So you walk in, and they've got the entire wall, like every inch of wall is covered with like old magazine clippings and like, just dope like magazine covers and dope inspirational type shit. The people we all look up to, especially when you're creating, is dope to be surrounded by that. And they started playing me some beats, and actually the first beat that they played, and I laid the song right that night. I wrote the verse and laid the song right that night. Is the song that Antidote is on. It's the last one on the project. It's a bonus track called 2017. Yeah. And it was dope, yo. Like, I mean, he put that beat on, and I was just like, oh, I need this. And he was like, all right, well, go for it. And I was like, bet, give me 5 minutes. I wrote the verse in 5 minutes. Like, I was very much enamored by the fact that I was really out in Miami for the first time on my music shit, and just kind of getting to live that, dream of mine out, if you will, of being able to travel and like share my music with people and stuff like that. So that song came about really quick. I actually really love Antidote's verse on that shit. Every time my phone comes on, I don't even rap my verse the way I rap his verse.
Yeah, I gotta say, I love your whole album.
Thank you.
I like the purpose, I like the love, and I do like the 2017. Like, those are the top. I know Lola, the Love, which is Lola and Bugs. I'm assuming that's you and your girl.
Yo, so it's funny. Another thing I always wanted people to know about this project, right, is I recorded it in 2017, and it didn't come out for a couple years. I was just sitting on this music. Yeah. And, even if the way that I had the artwork, because I do all my own artwork too, the way that I had the artwork set up at first, it was highlighting the fact that the music that you were listening to was completely raw and unedited and unmixed. Gotcha. In the sense that, I wanted, originally when I recorded it, I wanted to make it something a little more serious than anything I had done before. I wanted to put some money into it and get it mixed and mastered and get it really suited up. And, the way life was hitting me, especially with the babies and all this stuff, there was a lot of stuff going on where I didn't really get a chance to put it out the way I wanted. But it finally hit that point where I'm like, damn, man, I'm sitting on this music, and a lot of people are talking to me and referencing these concepts and asking me what I feel and how I think and, stuff like that. And it's all in this music, but I haven't put it out yet, so nobody knows. So I just decided, fuck it, I'm just going to release it raw and, kind of unedited and really focusing on the ability to have people, like hear just the bare expression. So what's funny about Bugs and Lola, we actually recorded that song right before I left back to New York. We finished with Viceland. We drove back to the studio because I was like, listen, before I go back home, I need to go back to the studio. Like, I only did 2017, and I fucking loved the process. I loved everything about it. But I'm like, yo, if I don't get back in there and record this shit while I'm down here, I'm going to be really tight. So, we drove back, and I basically finished recording the album then. Bugs and Lola was the first song I recorded when I got back up there. Okay. And my girl was with me at the time. And it's funny because all of those raps I wrote before her.
Okay.
Like a lot of the raps, even though I recorded it in 2017, some of those, that verse, the first verse of that song actually goes back to 2014 when I was kind of like, you know, just down and out, bro. Like I felt like I couldn't get into any kind of serious relationship. I really wanted to. I've always been that type of person. Like I never been the, you know, type to want to not be in a relationship. I always wanted to have somebody to share my, you know, like I said in the song, somebody to share my time with.
Yes.
And, I was recording the first verse, and after I finished the verse, I look out the DJ booth. I mean, out the recording booth, and I told my girl, like, "Sorry, babe, I wrote this before you." So you know, it was like, I started, even in the second verse, I started kind of getting a little more dark with it, where I was like, you know, showing my frustration of not being able to have that.
Yes.
So, you know, when we were recording, I'm telling her like, yeah, babe, don't worry. This was before
Not
you.
about you.
Not about you. It's about the love that we now have. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. Yeah. What you were searching for. Basically.
Yeah. Exactly.
I feel it. You know, I've always been supportive of music, even if like you was just like, oh, I dropped this. I've always been following you, and I knew you.
Yeah. I appreciate that.
And I want to say congratulations on like everything you've done so far, your family, like.
Oh man, thank you.
That's just the way to go, man.
Absolutely.
So I know you've been making beats, been making music with I'm not too sure the artists that you work with. I know you worked with a lot. What big name artists would you want to work with if you had the chance?
Man, that's like a really tricky question because I feel like every time I make a beat, I go into it with a certain type of inspiration in mind, whatever I might be listening to at the moment. So I think answering that question would drive more around like who I'm really listening to at the moment.
Okay.
I've been really heavy on Dom Kennedy and Nipsey Hussle.
Okay.
Not just recently. I have been for a couple years now. I've been really tapped into their music. And obviously with Nip passing, you know, it kind of it sets the perspective up in my head where I'm like, damn, man, I got to figure out what I can do to get, you know, to work with some of these people that I really want to work with. Somebody like Dom Kennedy. Obviously from Queens, you know, I want to work with somebody like Nas, you know, just people that I know I listen to a lot and that I know whose words kind of shaped me. You know, Nas is somebody who made me really want to write. I remember being a kid and seeing the music video for I Can and him rapping about just how you could be anything you want to be. And, you know, and that shit really inspired me. That might've been one of the earlier reasons that started me up writing, you know, so I want to work with people like that who have had that type of impact on my life. But truth be told, man, the way that I accept, you know, energy and blessings, bro, I like to just work and, you know, whatever opportunities come, you know, as long as I let it happen naturally, that's the type of shit that will spark me into making some of my best stuff.
Definitely. I'm glad you mentioned Nas, because, you know, there's a lot of few artists out there now that's saying that he's dead or nobody listens to him.
Yeah, they're all bugging.
I totally agree, bro. I grew up on Nas. I grew up Nas, Jay-Z, like
right,
Big Pun, like
right.
All these artists that like.
Man, if you talk about somebody I wish I could be in the studio with, is fucking Pun, because I've been around a lot of people who have really good Big Pun stories, and like it all just sounds so fire. Like it sounds like the type of guy you want to be in a studio with.
Yeah. I've seen some like documentaries and stuff.
Yeah,
like, people just talk that he was just like the funny guy, but when it was come down to music, he was serious, and the flow of everything was just dope.
Hell yeah.
What would be next for you? Like, do you want to make another album? Like, what would you want more out of your music since you're like pursuing it more, but also like you're working?
Yeah, I mean, finding the balance is definitely different. One thing I can say is, and a lot of people, you know, haven't really seen me. I haven't been out and about as much. I'm not on social media as much. I've been really focused in on just kind of setting myself up to reach the level that I want to get to next. You know, I took this break from DJing because I never really expected to get the success that I did with DJing.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, I mean, I have, you know, OGs. I got big homies who like haven't done the stuff that I've done, and they tell me all the time, like, yo, like, you know, it's impressive to see you be so young and so new to this, but you're still able to capitalize on these moments and these opportunities. So I took the break from DJing for that purpose because it was like not really what I was trying to do at the beginning. But now I've kind of got this mentality of combining my purposes. So I've been doing a lot of production of like my own remixes and just stuff that I could play. My ultimate goal, I would say, for DJing, I don't really want to get back into doing too much of the like, 2 or 3 bars every weekend and stuff like that. I really want to get back onto a festival stage. Kind of play some more original music and kind of take that approach. So I also know that that's not easy to do. So, I've been just kind of focused in on setting myself up. I got a lot of new equipment at the crib and, I've been creating like that and just like trying to let that creative juice get me back into that position that I was before, where it's like carrying me, where, my mentality and my work will encourage people to want to fuck with me and then, kind of go from there. As far as actual albums, I have been saying that Sweatpants and Dirty Dunk is my last one.
Okay.
Just because, there's not even a lot of songs on that project, but the way I look at it when it comes to that music, it's like every single line that I wrote was packed with life experiences. And I think that's why it's such an important album to me, because I feel like if you've never known me in your life, but you listen to this and you just, you close your eyes and listen to this, you'll get a really strong understanding of, what I am, like who I am. And that's what I really always want to put into an album. I don't want to be the type of guy that just makes songs and puts them out hoping for something to catch somebody's ear and gain fans that way. I always want to put something out that has like very, very significant meaning and purpose to it, as you can hear in the purpose. So I don't want to say never, but no time soon for an album. I definitely am still writing. Obviously, while I'm making beats, it's hard to not write. So I've got verses for days. If anybody wants a feature, you can hit me up. I got features for days, but I just haven't really had the mindset yet to put together another album.
Definitely. Yeah, I've had a lot of people be like, "Yo, who made that beat for you? Did you get it off like the website and stuff?" And I'm like, "Nah, it's my bro Jay. You just gotta hit him up. I can hit him up for you." I know. My boy hit me up. I gotta definitely find out if he wants to do it again. I know he was like, "Yo, can your boy hook me up with a beat?" And I was like, "Yeah." And then we hit him up. Time because he got kids. He's working. But definitely appreciate you for what you done with the beat. Like I knew like you just had that that flow and way of putting it together with what I wanted.
Yeah, for sure. That's also my thing too. Like that's why it's hard to say what kind of like which artists I'd want to work with, because until I know people's creative process, I don't really know how it's going to work. The type of energy that I have, something I kind of learned from being around my uncle when he was writing for people was like, he fed off of their energy and he took what he saw in that moment and kind of translated it into his expression. And that's kind of how I am now with beats. Like even if I just land in a studio session, going to buy my homies, like, pull up, come say what up. And I whip out my laptop, the inspiration starts at that moment. It's never something where I'm like, oh, I'm going to the studio with this person, I'm gonna play them this beat and this beat and that beat. It's really more so like vibing off of who's in front of me. But when you hit me up, it was dope because obviously, like you said, we went to school together and we had a lot of history like that. And you don't really get those opportunities very often where you get to reconnect with people and, do that type of work. So when you told me about what you were doing, it was exciting for me too, because I'm like, oh, it's dope to see you, get into a lane that, again, I'm pretty sure neither one of us, if you told us we'd be doing what we're doing right now, we would feel it. So
definitely, yeah. This was just a mind and I guess like a side project basically. The COVID and unfortunately I was furloughed from my job and everything. So, and I had equipment because I was supposed to do things, and of course this happened also. So it's like I need to do something else. Stuff sitting around, and I was just like, I want to do this, I want to do that. That came to mind, and then I was like, I know YouTubers or like anybody that like does podcasts, they have like an introduction song or like So I was like, I want that, and I was like, but damn, I don't know who. But then I was like, wait, I do know who. I know you.
Thanks.
So I was just like, I'm gonna hit up my boy. Like, he needs some he needs more of his stuff out there. Like,
Yeah, hell yeah. Hell
people
yeah.
need to listen.
Yeah,
So
for
of
sure.
course, I'm always putting you down. Like, Jay Thursday's the one that made this.
Yeah, man. And it's dope too. Another angle about my music too, that like unless you're really tapped in, unless you really know, like you I mean, I say Instagram because that's where I'm prominently marketing the music.
Yeah.
But unless you really know, you don't know the type of work I've done either. So like that's what's dope about it for me is like I kind of like this persona of like being incognito and nobody really knowing what's up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We've like as Stash Pack as a collective, we've done a lot of stuff that our name isn't prominent on, and it's like that's fine with me because I know that the work is out there, and it's you know, sometimes not having my name attached to it gives people a chance to really react naturally to it, and I can see those reactions. So it's been pretty dope. Even some of the artists that I've produced for, I mean, I've had records been coming out for the past 3 years, you know, that I mean, I post about it once, maybe twice, you know what I'm saying, and we go on. But then, you know, you can look back at the numbers and it's like well received, or like it's one of the artist songs that most of their fans like, or something like that. So it's always dope for me to know that about myself and know that I don't have to like be that guy that's always on your feet, like, yo, look at what I did, yo, look what I did.
Definitely, definitely. Talking about, I know you repped hard Stash Pack and the Nug Spot. Talking about those two, like what I know the Nug Spot, you promoted a lot. Come check it out. Come eat.
Yeah.
You posted up the video with the chicken sandwich and the ice cream. I was just like, goddamn, like I need to go try that. I gotta go try that. But I was just like, damn. But Stash Pack, I know you've been repping that for a while.
Yeah.
What is Stash Pack?
So when I first decided to start actually recording music, I had already been making beats for a couple years. I never had a beat tag. You know, it was really just more so I'm just gonna make the beats. The stuff that I gave to other people never got used, or I never like heard a full song come of it, you know. So it was very early stages in what I was doing. And once I started, you know, putting together raps, you know, all of my favorite rappers have something that they represent, you know, some kind of name for their collective.
Right.
And me and my boy Coda, we're sitting in his crib one day, and I was making some shit and I was writing some shit to it. And I was like, yo, like, we need something to call ourselves, bro. Like, I can't just keep saying, you know, Jay Thursday on everything, because it's not just me. It's a lot of us involved. Hey, shout out to Manny Mac. He just messaged me like I'm watching right now.
Hey, thank you.
Yeah, you know, I wanted something to call us, and we started brainstorming over a blunt, my favorite way to brainstorm. Yes. And just started thinking about shit that we thought was dope and people we thought were dope and shit like that. So the first kind of thing that came to my mind, well, before actually I got to that part, Coda came up with the stash part. Coda's mom came up with the stash part. So stash stands for stay true and stay humble. And Coda was like, yo, like, my mom always talks about this acronym, stay true and stay humble. I feel like that describes us. And I'm like, yo, that's a fucking fact, because both of us are mad humble, and we're both like true to ourselves. Like, you know, we like what we like, and we stick to our guns. We sneaker heads and we music heads and you know, whatever. So we stuck with the stash. And I'm like, okay, we can't just call it stash though. Like, it has to be something that represents it as a collective. So we came up with Pack actually because at the time I was watching a lot of documentaries and stuff about you know, the Rat Pack, fucking Frank Sinatra, and, you know, Sammy like just all of these guys who it was a collective of creatives before that concept was really a concept. You know what I'm saying? They did everything: acting, singing, comedy, just anything they can do to entertain, they were able to do it. And when I was thinking about Stash Pack, it wasn't so much like I'm the rapper and I'm going to get 7 other rappers and we're going to be like an ASAP Mob, or I'm the producer and I'm going to get, you know, a bunch of other producers and we're like 808 Mafia. Like, I didn't want to be anything like that. I wanted what we come up with to encompass all types of creatives, where like I could find a really dope videographer and be like, yo, you're Stash Pack now. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So we took the pack off the end of Rat Pack and put it together. So that's how you get Stash Pack, which really is more, like I said, a collective of creative minds, not just rappers, not just singers, not just DJs, just anything you do where you're entertaining people and applying creativity to do it different. You know, that's somebody that could represent what Stash Pack is representing.
Okay. Shout out to Stash Pack, everybody
Yes,
that's
sir.
on your crew. Like that, like I know you repped it hard, and I was like, yo, what is Stash Pack? And I'm like, maybe that's his crew, maybe
Yeah,
that's like a label he's trying to create. Like
yeah.
I just knew you like you was always creative, always had like a big mind.
Yeah, and mind you too, when we were in high school, all I was doing, like y'all never seen it, but all I was doing in my notebooks was drawing out, blueprints for a studio. Oh, I want to have a studio. I want to have a barbershop / sneaker store, and then the basement is a studio. Like I was always, thinking like that coming up. So, once we put an actual name to it, I think that's when I started taking it more serious and being like, okay, now we got to do this now, So,
Yeah.
and that's kind of how it came along. And then as time progressed, and under Stash Pack, early on, I put out a lot of, kind of like random songs here and there, just stuff from being around, recording here and there. And then as time progressed, more and more people started fucking with the concept, and then I started having more and more people working with me, and that's when I met people like Manny, and we kind of just kept building on the momentum of whatever we did before. I wanted to, like I said, make that collective something that could be, that can make anybody feel like they were a part of it. You know what I'm saying? Taylor Gang, like you think about Wiz Khalifa. When Wiz Khalifa came out and started saying Taylor Gang, he had everybody rocking Chucks. He had everybody putting a little blonde streak in their hair because they felt like they were a part of what he was doing. And I always looked at something like that being like, well, this is a much broader kind of concept. You know what I'm saying? Instead of it being like you got to be a rapper to be in Stash Pack, it's really more so you got to love what you do and be creative and different. And you could be just as much of a Stash Pack member as I am. You know what I'm saying? There's no kind of like right or wrong way.
Okay. That's definitely dope, man. Like, once again, like just congrats on everything like you've done so far, and hopefully we see more of you.
Oh yeah.
And hear more your more stuff. Of course, I'm always gonna be supportive of people like that. Basically at the end of the day, that's what my show is all about. Like just showing what people can do and supporting. Before we end our show, usually I like to answer like something inspirational to like for the viewers to just like if this is what they're pursuing music, what do you have to say to them?
Yeah, man. I mean, I've been very fortunate to spend time around a lot of the people that, I grew up looking up to and looking for to do things and kind of just watching their moves. You know what I'm saying? Immediately off the top, I think about some advice that I got, that basically helped shape the way that I started perceiving a lot of this stuff. And it's that, you can't, you hear people talk about like chasing a certain, hi, sorry guys, we're closed, 2:00. My bad, still working. You hear a lot of people all the time talking about like, well, you can't chase a hit. You can't chase a hit record. You can't chase success. You can't chase, the stature, the stature that you want. Like, you got to kind of really just do it from a place of love.
Yeah.
And know that love will develop into what I consider to be like a superpower. Creatively, J. Cole said it, every poet just wants to be loved. You know what I'm saying? That's very much a true concept, not just in writing music, but also in producing music, also in being a DJ and whatever. We all want that kind of recognition from our peers and our onlookers to say, damn, this guy is really dope. But the advice that I took very serious, and it's carried me through a lot of this, is, you can't force that.
Yeah.
You really can't force that. There's no, you hear people talk about like labels pressing the button and the artist just blows up. Like that doesn't work like that. You know what I'm saying? That button being pressed really means the 20 people in the office making it their 9 to 5 days work to make sure that this person's name is extremely relevant in all of the main channels of communication.
Yes.
That takes work. So when you're talking about an independent artist, if I'm giving advice to somebody who's trying to do anything or trying to find themselves landing in situations that they may have seen me in, and mind you, I'm nowhere near a lot of the people I know, you know what I'm saying? You have to do it from a place of love. You can't do it with the intentions in your head of finding that type of success, or, you can't buy your way into it, or you can't force people to listen to you. You've got to just be as authentic as possible. You've got to stick to your concept for branding. If you don't sit down and map out how you want to brand your stuff and marketing and all of that, you'll really be just running through a forest with no flashlight. You know what I'm saying? So operate from love. That's your flashlight. And then once you follow that light, bro, it'll take you to wherever you're destined to be. Anything beyond what you're destined to do, you know, will come from you being consistent, being a good person, and leading with that love, leading with that heart into everything that you're doing and producing and putting out for people to be entertained by.
Yes. Totally agree, bro.
And do it for yourself too. Like do it,
yes.
do what you want. Like Sweatpants and Dirty Dunks, I would be just as confident playing it as it is right now to a label executive as if I went and got it mixed and mastered, because I really became one with the idea that I'm going to put this music out in its most raw form.
Yeah.
You know, you'll hear on the album little ad libs or me saying shit like, nah, cut that out. But I never changed it because it's like, I want you guys to hear it the way that I went into the booth and recorded it. Like Bugs and Lola, I had just finished a weekend in Miami. We were getting anything we wanted. Like we would say, oh, let me get a bottle. And they'd bring us 3. We're DJing with some of the coolest fucking names in DJing, like fucking Ape Drums, and all these fucking guys are on the bus next to us, and we're taking photos and videos, doing all this stuff. And then I go record the song Bugs and Lola with my girl sitting on the couch in front of me, and you can't really tell me I'm not at the top of the world. So imagine if I would have been, subtractive in that, and I would have taken out a lot of the feeling that I had, the raw emotion that I had in that moment when I recorded it. You know what I'm saying? If it was a situation where I had some more money to my name, I might have taken all of those songs and had this, the way it's out now would have been the rough version. I could have taken it, you know, somewhere like Treehouse or Quad Studios and put money into recording it and laying my vocals exactly how I wanted to sound. But I didn't want it to sound a certain way. Over time, I realized I wanted people to hear it the way I was expressing it. So, you know, that's another piece of advice, man. Don't feel like you have to fit in some type of mold. You know, there's always a time and a place for those things, and you always want to have that type of angle to your stuff so you could show that you're capable of being professional like that. But man, early on, bro, when you're just trying to, you know, raise awareness of your product and get some fans and get people who really support you, people want to hear that real stuff. You know what I'm saying? Nobody wakes up and gets dressed and puts a gun in the back of their pants and walks out thinking they Future because they heard a Future record. You know what I'm saying? They hear what Future is saying, and it makes them feel a way, and then they take that energy and they apply it to their life. So if you give people your raw, true form of artistry, they're going to be able to take that and internalize it and use it how they want. And I think that's always more impactful than any kind of like planted idea or systematic kind of approach to creating the art. Definitely. So I would definitely say that's you know, if you take nothing from me, take that.
Yes, definitely. I would take that. Hopefully the viewers that are watching take that and just understand, you know, music is a rough world out there. Just do it. If you love it, keep going. And
yes, sir.
And
especially now, 2020 is a lot of people making music, and I encourage everybody. Same thing with the DJing, man. I've seen a lot of my homies who were just a promoter or just a bartender now at the crib during COVID learning how to DJ. And I tell people all the time, man, like nothing should stop you. You know what I'm saying? Like if I listen to people tell me that I shouldn't be DJing because I'm a producer, or I shouldn't be rapping because I'm a DJ, I wouldn't have done half of the cool shit that I've done. Stuff that I would never imagine that I would have been able to do. You know, stuff that I can't wait to tell my sons about and encourage them and inspire them to want to do stuff like that. So, you know, just stick to your guns, man, and always be willing to learn and try something new.
Yes. Do you like any of the new artists out right now? Like, to me, I'll be honest, I don't really like a lot of the music that's out now. That I do miss the 90s type of flow.
Yeah.
But what about you? How you feeling about music today?
Man, I spent a lot of time watching podcasts and interviews and stuff like that to get my knowledge up. One concept that I see a lot with a lot of the artists that I love and respect when they get asked this question is they make a great point. Nori makes a great point on Drink Champs. I feel like he talks about this all the time. You've got to be willing to understand within yourself that you're not going to, as Nori, you're not going to hear a Nori.
Okay.
You know, as you know, a Nas, you're not going to hear a Nas. You're going to hear people inspired by it, but we're on a completely different wave. The way that information is received nowadays is so different that it's going to shape the way that people think, and thus is going to change the way that people are expressing themselves in music.
Yes.
And, you know, because of that, I've learned to kind of have more open ears towards a lot of the newer stuff. I am still a very harsh critic, though. You know, I feel like as a fan, we all have that right to be very harsh about what we want to hear and what we think is good and not good, because there's no formula, there's no chart that says this passes all these, it passes the checklist, so this is a good song. Right. You know, it's all opinion based. So, you know, I mean, some of the people I've listened to recently that are newer, I mean, I really fuck with Don Toliver. His album is really, really dope to me. I was just talking about it on Twitter yesterday. I still think he has album of the year for me, just because of the uniqueness of the sound and the consistency of the sound throughout the entire project. First song to last song, he sounds dope. And it's like the same way you love it on the first track, you love it on every single track through. So I really like Don Toliver. I can't really say who else new I've really been listening to, bro. Like I can kind of look at my recents on my Apple Music right quick and I'll see if any names pop up. But nobody has specifically stood out to me. I mean, I do a lot of listening to the same stuff. I listen to a lot of Ty Dolla $ign. I listen to a lot of Dom Kennedy. I listen to a lot of Nipsey. You know, I listen to a lot of Nas. I listen to a lot of Kanye. I'm kind of stuck in my ways in that regard.
Okay.
Reason. Oh yeah, there we go. Okay, see, that's why I like that I looked at my list. Reason's album that just came out is really fucking good too. So I really fuck with Reason also. But you know, not really a thing for me of like new artists versus old artists. It's like once something sticks to me, and I leave my crib in the morning, I'm in a certain mood. Like this morning on the way to work, I was on shuffle. You know, yesterday I came into work listening to Dom. The day before I came out listening to Nipsey, you know, and I'll kind of listen to the same, you know, same rotation of music.
Yeah. All right. All right. You know, appreciate your thoughts on that right now. So where can people find you if they want to like collab with you or get a beat off you, or like where can they find you?
So I've been considering setting up an online store and some kind of process for the production. But I'm also still just really more focused in on trying to make it a unique group. One thing I always did when I was younger was I would go on Wikipedia and I would look up my favorite producers' credits. You know, somebody like Timbaland and somebody like Pharrell. I would look at what their discography is in terms of what they produced, and you'll realize that there's not a lot of fluff on there, and that's really important to me. You know, I don't want to just give beats to the first person that comes to me with money. You know what I'm saying? I want to make sure that what I'm making represents them, and then I want to make sure that their final product represents me. Yes. So, you know, my best bet, the way I would describe it, I mean, you know the process because you hit me up, I would say just shoot me a DM or something like that, and, you know, let me know what you're trying to work on and what the inspiration is for what you're doing. And then from there, I'll kind of like gauge it and see if that's something that I could really get down with and, you know, try to bring my style into what it is you're trying to portray. I would say probably in the next like year or two, and mind you, I'm very, very patient with everything I'm doing music. Like I'm not trying to rush anything. So maybe in like the next year or two, I would expect to see more of my production come into light, because I'll start kind of rallying and trying to talk to more artists and get involved that way. But as of right now, man, I've been kind of just working with the same people that I know are going to give me a good final product. Shout outs to people like my boy Ja X. He kills every beat that I'm on. He got a new video out called Telfar Bag, which is really dope. Everybody should go check that out on YouTube. I produced that beat and a couple of songs on his EP. I produced, I think, half of his EP. So you could also find that. It's called Mad Feels too. You know, but yeah, I'm just kind of sticking to my guns and sticking to my people. So if you feel like, you know, you've heard something I've done and you're like, damn, this dude is dope, you know, hit me up and let's talk and let's see what you're on and what I'm on, and we kind of go from there. I don't ever want to be like, yeah, man, if you got the money, I got your beats, because that's not, that's never been my style.
It's not about the money, it's just about
it's about, like I said, leading with that love. I gotta have some kind of dedication to the idea. You know, when you hit me up and was like, I need a beat, you know, for the video blog, that's something I've always wanted to do, and I've just not got into it yet. So for me, it was like, oh, this is dope, because I get to put something together that people are going to hear and be like, you know, tuned in more and want to see what they're about to you know, either watch interview wise or view next.
Yes.
So I had the inspiration there to do it. So, come correct, I would say.
Yes.
I'm nobody, I'm not trying to put myself on a pedestal, but I just know how I operate. Like I said, it all comes from a place of love. So I gotta have that type of passion in me to want to really put my best foot forward and making something.
Yes. Yes. Everybody go follow my boy on IG and Twitter, because I know that's what you're mostly on, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Definitely.
definitely find him on J Thursday. Just look him up. Even if you maybe
Right there.
probably Google, you'll find it. You guys can find me on it's official. It's _ official. You can find me on MDMC's page on IG and Instagram. Just search up MDMC Entertainment.
Yes,
And
sir.
on Facebook and IG and YouTube. Like, subscribe, and show some support. Definitely hit up my boy Jay if you need any type of maybe.
Yes, sir. We here. We got a lot of stuff out too. Go check out my boy Manny Mac's project, because that shit is fire. Manny's super dope as a producer. I mean, even when we first met, he was just kind of dabbling in it. And when I talk about this is somebody who always paid attention to what I was doing, always asked me questions, always like, well, how did you do that? And we started really kind of bouncing stuff off of each other and learning off of each other. So the project that he has out now, it's on everything. You can definitely look him up. Manny Mac, MANNY, MAK, no C on the Mac. Listen to his stuff. Obviously, Sweatpants and Dirty Dunks is out now. You guys can go check that out, learn more about me. And, my heart and soul is really in that project. My baby brother, Jordy, he just put out a project as well called Never Had Hoop Dreams. It's super dope. I'm not on that one, any production. I was on his last one. But, very good project also. So go check that out. Yeah, man. And just stay tuned, bro. Stash Pack got some stuff coming. We just on patient road right now.
Yeah. Shout out to Stash Pack and everybody. Yes, make sure, check out Jay's music.
Yes, sir.
It's on Apple, Spotify. Where else?
Everywhere, man. I really push Audio Mac the most.
Okay.
That's also where I've seen the most. I just went through a little tug of war with myself about if I wanted to keep the album on Apple Music and Spotify and Tidal and all of that, because it costs money every year, man. But Audio Mac is hands down best place to listen to the project. I mean, it just gives that feel. The sound quality is good. I've also got a bunch of my other stuff on there, so you can always check that out, stuff that's not on Apple Music, and really get a feel for me. So I would definitely check it out.
Everybody watching will have that down in the description. Make sure that, listen to Jay's music, listen to what he's doing. And Jay, if you need any help with making your website or anything, you might know already, because we've been in the same.
Yeah, for sure.
You need help, hit us up. We'll
for sure.
We'll hook you up, boy.
Yeah, no doubt, man. I appreciate you guys. Thank y'all for having me.
Yes, I appreciate you for everything. Shout out to all your peoples, got fans out there. Shout out, keep supporting my boy Jay.
Please do.
And thanks for being on the show. I really appreciate it, bro.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you.
All right, guys. So we're gonna end our show. Thanks for watching. Thanks for supporting. Like, subscribe, comment, and hit up Jay if you need any type of music help. Peace out, guys.
Peace.